everybody. This is Miss Thomas, and we are starting our second Mercy Watson book, and this is called Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. We finished our first Mercy Watson book last week, so let's go ahead and find out what happens in chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 1. Mr. and Mrs. Watson have a pig named Mercy. Every Saturday, Mrs. Watson makes a special lunch. "Time for our little Saturday something," Mrs. Watson says. "You've outdone yourself, Mrs. Watson," Mr. Watson says. "Oink," says Mercy. Look at all that food. Would you want to have a feast like that, eating all that food? Every Saturday after lunch, Mr. Watson goes outside, and Mercy follows him. They stand in the driveway. Together, they admire Mr. Watson's convertible. "Are you ready?" asks Mr. Watson. "Oink," says Mercy, and Mr. Watson opens the passenger door, and Mercy hops into the car. Is she sitting in the passenger seat? She sits behind the wheel, and she snuffles contentedly. Chapter 2. "Hey, hey, hey," says Mr. Watson every Saturday. "You, my dear, are a porcelain wonder, but even porcelain wonders cannot drive cars." Mr. Watson gently pushes Mercy toward the passenger seat, but Mercy does not move. She does not want to sit in the passenger seat. Mercy Watson wants to drive. "Hey, hey, hey," says Mr. Watson again, and he pushes less gently. "Scoot over, my dear." And Mercy does not move. "Help me," Mr. Watson calls out. Every Saturday, Mrs. Watson steps outside. "Darling," says Mrs. Watson, "if you let Mr. Watson drive, I will make you an extra helping of hot buttered toast. I will have it waiting for you when you get back home." Mercy narrows her eyes. She loves hot buttered toast. She also loves extra helpings. Slowly, very slowly, she moves over to the passenger side. "What a dear," says Mrs. Watson, and she claps her hands. "You are such a good sport, darling." "Yes," said Mr. Watson, "she most certainly is." He gets in the car and sits behind the wheel. He turns the keys in the ignition, and the Watsons' convertible rumbles to life. Now that is the end of chapter 2. Now remember last week I told you that when we got done you were going to make a prediction. So a prediction is you're going to guess what happens next. So I want you to make a prediction on what you think will happen in chapter 3. And you'll find out tomorrow.